Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today we have two new releases from Dior. I have one of the new eyeshadows and also one of the new blushes. So of course we will be doing a demonstration. I will be showing you how I created this eye look and also how I really feel about both of these products. And then at the end of the video, I will be sharing with you just a few swatches of other blushes that look similar to this newer blush from Dior. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and spending it with me. I truly do appreciate it. And if you are new, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, and let's just get right into this video. So I'm so excited that this portion of the video is going to be sponsored by Online Makeup Academy. I've actually already filmed the video for you all, so I'm going to insert that clip here so you can learn more about Online Makeup Academy. Before we get started in this video, I am so honored and happy to be sponsored by Online Makeup Academy. They are sponsoring this portion of the video, and they wanted me to share with you the benefits of their online certification program. So to give you a little bit about the Makeup Artist Online Academy, this particular program allows for makeup artists to be certified in an online format, and they are the only certification program that actually provides video feedback. So should you complete their training, you will have a complete professional makeup education beginning with the Master Makeup course, and then you will continue through to their Advanced Makeup Artistry course that will delve into specific artistry that you might want to delve into. So let's say you're like, I want to be a makeup artist and I really want to specialize in bridal makeup. After you complete their Master Makeup course, then when you're taking their advanced course, you can then specialize and learn more about bridal makeup. You also get hours of video training. They provide cheat sheets, checklists, and a complete makeup artist manual. You will receive a certification of completion at the end of the program, and the program is completely self-paced. So there's not, particular days and times that you have to do these trainings and complete these modules. It's totally up to you, and you will have an instructor that's going to give you one-on-one feedback and education, which I think is amazing. On top of that, they're giving you the feedback through video. So for instance, when I signed up, because I wanted to get a feel for it so I would be able to, have a better way of explaining it to you. As soon as I signed up, I want to say within an hour, my instructor emailed me, and when I clicked on the email, it was a video, and she was like, "Hi Chelsea, I'm such and such. I'm so glad that you signed up." And I was like, wow, this is so special. This is really, really nice. So I really liked that one-on-one video feedback that I had from my instructor. And whenever you submit your work, you're going to get video responses actually telling you what you did, how you can improve, and showing you techniques. So you're really almost feeling like you're getting that feedback in person and not just through an online format. Once you complete their online program, they will help you apply for pro cards. And once you complete their program, you automatically apply for their pro cards with their affiliated partners. And with their affiliated partners, you get up to 40% off of brands like Makeup Forever, ABH, NYX, Smashbox, and so forth. And the last perk that you get from signing up for their program is that they are now including their makeup artist kit, like their starter kit. So you get, I want to say it's almost $800 worth of products. So if you were like, I really want to get into freelancing, I don't have a lot of money to really accumulate a makeup artist kit, they give it to you. And oh my gosh, as you can see from the video that I'm inserting now, you get a ton of products. You get virtually everything that you need to get started with, from brushes to lashes to face palettes, foundations, concealers, bronzers, powders. I mean, you think of it, they're going to include it in the kit, even down to utensils, scissors, little tweezers. I mean, everything that a makeup artist would need in their kit, they provide in this starter kit. So it really allows you to feel like, not only do I have the education behind what I'm doing, but I also have the tools that I need to get started. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for anyone who is really interested in really becoming a makeup artist, you want to be certified and you don't have a lot of time to maybe physically go to a school, this is a great option to get that certification online, but you're also getting that one-on-one feedback like you're going to a physical school, and you are truly getting a accredited certification in makeup artistry. So thank you so much to Online Makeup Academy for sponsoring this portion of the video. If there are any questions that you have about this particular program, let me know down in the comment section. I will of course leave information in the description box so that if you'd like to look into this more, you can. So starting with the eyeshadow palette, we have here, this is one of the 5 Colors Couture limited edition eyeshadow palette. Out fell the brushes. So it does come with 2 brushes. I don't ever use those blushes, and then a sleeve that you can pop out. Very nice size functional mirror. And then here is an up close look at this particular eyeshadow. The one that I picked up here is called Early Bird. It does retail for $65, and we get shades of brown, pink, and beige. There is another one, and that one is called Nightbird, and that one looked very different, and I probably should have picked that one up just because I don't have something like that in my collection, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to reach for it and I wasn't going to use it outside of the video, and I'm really trying not to buy makeup that I am not too interested in, so I did leave that one at Dior. However, if I do watch another video and I feel like I need it, I'll go ahead and get it. But for now, I'm just going to stick with Early Bird. So the description of this eyeshadow palette says that it's going to reinterpret the changing reflections of birds' feathers and fall colors. Some of the benefits of this eyeshadow is that it's going to be a comfortable texture that does not migrate into the eyelid's crease. It's going to have intense long wearing color, a variety of finishes. So we've got matte, metallic, a highlighter, and a duochrome, and then 2 double-sided applicators, which we already saw. Okay, so doing some quick swatches of these eyeshadows, and please forgive my nails, I will be getting them done soon. We're just down to the wire, so they're not looking their best. So we have here this tan shade. This is the only matte shade in the palette, and I really, really love this color. It's a tan mustard type of color. Very, very creamy and soft to the touch. Then we have this beautiful like cranberry red color. This one is a shimmer, and it does have like some gold reflex to it. Then we get this beautiful highlighter shade. And in my opinion, there's a couple of highlighters in this particular palette. So this one is just a beautiful kind of gold-based type of light color. It's got a champagne hue to it, but it definitely has a gold base to it. So it's not completely champagne. And then we have this other shade that I think is a highlighter. I actually do use this one as a highlighter, and I'll show you in the demonstration. I think this one is my favorite shade in the particular palette. Beautiful pinky, iridescent, lighter color. It's not icy, but definitely a lighter pink, but it actually works really well against warm complexions. And then lastly, this beautiful plum-like shade that definitely has some pink sparkles to it. So these are all of the shades here. From what I can see in the shades, I believe that this cranberry shade and then this plum-like shade are going to be 2 duochrome-like shades. Especially when I look at them in the pan, I definitely see shifts of other colors. I see shifts of pink in this plum shade right here, and I see shifts of gold in this particular shade right here. So those are all of the swatches of the eyeshadows. Now getting into the actual eye look. So I started out with the tan mustard shade, blended that into the transition, and it's very beautiful, very skin-like in terms of its shade against my complexion. But if I were to build it up, I could definitely build it up a little bit to where it's a little more noticeable, but it definitely is more of like a skin type of shade for me. This particular formulation is not a typical matte. I feel like it has more of like a gelée type of texture to it. So I went in with, what brush did I go in with? I went in with this What's Up Beauty. This is an R105 brush, and this is a goat-haired natural brush. And I felt like it picks up the product, but I definitely kind of had to dig my brush into it. So when I use this particular shade again, I will go in with a synthetic brush because I do think it will pick up the product a little bit better than the natural haired brush. I could be wrong because I didn't use it today, but I was able to get it onto the eyelid. But I think just for its texture, a synthetic brush might work a little bit better. So I will try that next time. But I was able to build this shade up to my liking because I really just wanted a light wash of it anyway, because it was going into my transition. Then I went in with this beautiful cranberry gold-like shade, put that all across the lid for the most part, and it just blended beautifully into the lid. I love the color of this particular shade. It doesn't look too red to where I might look like I have a bruise on the eye. But it definitely is red and prevalent. I think this is definitely a shade that reminds me of fall for sure. Fall going into winter. I also think of poinsettias when I look at this particular shade as well. So loving this shade and just how great it is of a shade. Like I said, not too red to where it looks like you might have a bruise on the eye. Then there's a middle shade right here, which is, like I said, I think this is my favorite shade in the palette. It's just this beautiful, like icy type of pink shade, but it's got depth and warmth to it. So I added that right here in the inner corner toward about the middle of the eye and blended those two shades together, and it turned out beautifully. And then I went in with this champagne gold shade, and I used that as a brow bone highlight. And as you can see, as I turn my head, it is not just a typical champagne based eyeshadow only. You've got warmth to it, and it definitely has a gold base to it. So I really do like that it does have that gold base to it, because I do think it will work for more complexions versus just being a standard like light champagne type of color. I was actually shocked. I was like, oh, was not expecting that. For the lower lash line, I went in with this plum shade, and I just smoked that across the almost entire length of the lower lash line and kind of pulled it out just a little bit on the corner of the eye. And I do like that these are so smooth and blendable. One thing that I noticed with this particular red shade, I was just tapping my brush along my eyes and I wasn't even blending, and it was blending. Like, it was just like, okay, you're tapping us here, we're just gonna blend right there. It doesn't look like I have shimmer in the crease, and it doesn't look, you know, almost like kitty, like, you know, when I think of like, you know, little girls makeup, I think of like a bunch of glitter and shimmer, and you just kind of slap it onto the lid, and it doesn't have any type of uniformity. It's just there. And these don't look like that. They really do blend themselves, and it took just nothing to get them to blend. I really liked that about these shimmers. And same with that plum shade along the lower lash line. Just blended itself out. I didn't have to build it up a lot either to get the pigmentation that I wanted. So I really enjoyed that. And then for the inner corner, I went back in with that pink shade and just put it along the inner corner of the lower lash line. And I also added it as an inner corner highlight. And that was my simple look. Oh, and then the last thing that I did, just to kind of add a little bit of like, just a little something else to the eye look, I took this gold champagne type of shade and just put it right here along the center of the eye, and then just took a little bit more of that red shade and blended the edges of it, so it just looked a little more uniform and blended. And that is the look that I have. I think this eyeshadow palette is so pretty. Very, like, the formula is just beautiful, because like I said, it really does blend itself. And I also feel like with the formulation of these eyeshadows, because none of the other shimmers have that gelée type of formula like the matte does. So these were easy to pick up on my brush. Like I said, they blended effortlessly, but they don't emphasize anything on the eyelid, not any crinkles, because I definitely have some crinkles on my eyelids, and I felt like they blended into the creases of my eye really nicely. So I do think that this palette will work for all types of skin, especially if you have more mature skin, because I don't think it's going to emphasize any type of, wrinkles and creases on the eyes that you may not want to be emphasized. I think it's just gonna glide into it and give you an overall beautiful look. Not gonna lie, I'm actually intrigued now by Nightbird because I'm like, this formulation is beautiful and that color scheme of that other palette is stunning. Should I get it? Leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know. Moving on to the blush. So I picked up this blush. This is in Coral Flight. This is also limited edition, and this is the Rouge Blush. And the shade Coral Flight is described as a vibrant coral. It does retail for $45, and it also does come with a little brush and a protective sleeve. Also comes with a really beautiful functional mirror. There is another blush shade, and it is in the shade Nude Glide, and it's described as a rosy taupe. I didn't opt for that one because that one did look a little light and more cool toned, and I didn't think it would work well for my complexion, so that's why I opted into not getting that blush, and I just stuck with this one. So the description of this blush said, this fall Rouge Blush reveals 2 new mono-compacted powders adorned with a new limited edition delicate feather pattern. The 2 new fall Rouge Blush shades are a vibrant coral and Coral Flight, and a rosy taupe in Nude Glide. They instantly flush cheeks with an intense, ultra pigmented color for long wear makeup. It says that its texture will seamlessly melt onto skin like a soft, feather-like caress for an instant healthy glow effect. So doing a quick swatch of this particular shade, we have Coral Flight right here. And this shade is just stunning. This is the type of shade that I love. I think it's just so beautiful and vibrant and bright. And I also like that this shade has a little shimmer to it, just like, not shimmer, but more of a glow. So as you see with me applying it to the cheeks and then even looking at my cheeks now, there is definitely a glow to the cheeks, and especially right here, that is coming from the blush. And I love me a beautiful, glowy, shimmery blush. And initially looking at it in the pan, it looked matte, and I was like, okay, let's just see how it looks on the cheeks. But it's so beautiful. It's one of those blushes that if you didn't want to put a highlight on, you don't have to put a highlight on. So like when I applied it today, I just took it up all along the cheeks and then up onto the temples. I kind of, took what was left on my brush, ran it across my nose, ran it across my forehead, and I think this shade is just stunning. I didn't think it would pair well with the eye look that I created, but I actually think it does go pretty well with it. And I think this shade is a beautiful shade for summertime, but also for the fall. I really do like it. And I also like the embellishment of the feathers with the blush and also with the eyeshadow palette. So this shade is right up my alley. It is a shade that I love, but when I saw it, I immediately thought of a few different blush shades. So let's do some swatch comparisons because, do you already have this if you have some of these other blushes? So the first blush that I thought of when I saw that one was Mother Pat's Electric Bloom. And so looking at them side by side, we can see that they are not dupes in terms of their shades. Electric Bloom definitely has more intensity of color, but I will swatch it because we just never know. So here is Pat McGrath's Electric Bloom. And taking a look at them, although they are similar, Electric Bloom definitely has a little bit more depth to its color. I also feel like Electric Bloom has more orange red to it versus Coral Flight has more of a true coral-like color. The other shade that I thought about was this shade by Chanel. This is in the shade Fascia Rosa. And so holding them up together, they don't look as similar side by side as they did, just like kind of thinking of it and going, that might look similar. So here is the Chanel shade. And the Chanel shade is pulling more pink then Coral. So here's the Chanel shade, Pat McGrath, and then Dior's Coral Flight. Chanel is definitely looking more pink versus Coral. And then the last shade that I thought about was one of the new Givenchy Prisme Libre blushes. And I do have my review coming on these. Sorry guys, it's just, you know, it's been a week, but I am gonna get my review up on these. But this is in the shade 6. Taking a look at it, you know, there's 4 different shades in this particular blush, but it's very hard to try to get one shade out. So I'm just going to tap all of the shades together in the cap, and then we'll do a swatch just to see what it looks like as a whole. And let's see, where can we put this? Let's try to squeeze this one right here. So the Givenchy one definitely has more, I want to say, pink and fuchsia to it compared to Coral Flight from Dior. And then there's Pat McGrath and then Chanel's. So these 3 blush shades, although they, I would say, have some similarity to Coral Flight, they are not direct dupes. So if you have any of these other shades and you're interested in this one, if you're like me, there's room for more. You know, there's enough difference for me to justify and go, I don't have a shade just like this. But I definitely think that the one closest to it would be Pat McGrath's Electric Bloom, but Chanel and Givenchy are different enough to where I don't feel like they're the same. And I definitely see a difference between Pat McGrath and Dior, so it's justified in being here. So once I was done applying my blush, I wanted to go in with a highlight, and when I went back to this eyeshadow palette, I just had to go back in with this pink shade, and I applied that as my highlighter, and is she not cute? She is really cute, like really cute. But if you take a look at the formulation, this is what I was talking about with it just being so smooth and really melting into the skin. When I turn my head and even getting up close, it doesn't look like I've got just like shimmer sitting on my cheeks or flecks of, you know, glitter and metallic on my cheeks. It just looks like I have a beautiful sheen and a beautiful highlight to the cheek. So I added it right here, and of course over here, down the center of my face, and it is just stunning. So I personally would use this shade in the middle and also this shade right here as highlighter shades. And I think if you are about my complexion, I would say if you are a few shades lighter than me, you could get away with this pink shade. Maybe even light complexions could work with it because it does kind of have an icy hue to it, but like I said, it has some warmth to it, so it can work for more complexions versus if it was just icy. But I do think that this pink shade could work for a pretty decent amount of complexions. I would say from about light to maybe a couple of shades deeper than me. And then I think this particular gold champagne shade could work for maybe light to light medium to a few shades deeper than me because of that gold base. So this little quint definitely is not just an eyeshadow palette. You could definitely put this on the face. I would even go in with this shade right here as a blush if I were just like, I'm just gonna be doing a one and done with this particular eyeshadow palette. You've got 2 highlighters and a blush, and then eyeshadow. So this is actually, in my opinion, a little bit of a face palette as well. And it's always great when you can take one makeup product and use it for a plethora of things. So I think this is like a little like hidden gem within it, because you've got your typical eyeshadows, but then you've got some colors that, depending on your complexion, you can use them on the face. So I love that about this eyeshadow palette. And this shade right here is just, look at that. It's just my favorite. It is just my favorite. So those are my thoughts on the new eyeshadow palette and the new blush. I think both of them are beautiful. I'm very glad that I picked up both of them. And like I said, I am now very interested in, was it Nightbird, the other eyeshadow palette from Dior. I'm like, oh, I definitely don't have anything like that. So we'll see if I'll get it. You guys will find out if I do get it. But I do like both of them. I think if you're interested in this new collection, definitely pick it up because it's really beautiful. The formulation is just It is stunning. I hope that you enjoyed this review. Let me know if you have any questions down below that I did not answer for you. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, definitely go ahead and consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.